Namaste everyone. Very warm welcome to Satsang today. Moji ji ki jai. Thank you all very much for joining in. And if this is your first time in Satsang, the way to ask questions is through the chat window. Namaste. So you can ask your question through the chat window. Let me get my phone off. Namaste and welcome. What would you like to speak about today? Namaste. Any topics you want to discuss? Okay, so Ananya has a question. She says, Father, can you give some clarity on consciousness as one doer and experiencer, please? And Aryav also had a question. He said, how about the world affairs, terrorism, violence, etc.? So somehow, although it might not seem that way, it should be interlinked, isn't it? The answer would be maybe to both. So we are speaking about consciousness as the one doer and one experiencer. And the root of this is that ancient Indian scripture, line in the scripture which says, Tvam karta and Tvam bhokta. Tvam karta, Tvam bhokta. Which means that you are the doer, or thou art the doer, and you are the experiencer. It's very good. We'll discuss this today. It's very good. So the only thing which is ever present, the only thing which is ever present is the pure witnessing itself. The pure awareness itself is ever present. And all states arise for this witnessing. And within this witnessing itself, all states arise within this witnessing itself. And in this witnessing, consciousness or beingness takes birth. So when there was just pure seeing, the first phenomena or the immaculate conception of the sense I am is born. This is the pure being. And when the presence of this pure being is seen, then that is called the waking state or the dream states. Is the presence of consciousness. Is the presence of the so-called conscious states. So it is clearly seen in the beginning that awareness is all there is. And when this waking state is to happen, there's this birth of this sense of being. And this being wakes up, and then in the light of this being itself, the entire phenomenal universe wakes up. And when this being is not present, then no phenomenal existence can be there. So all states which are conscious states have the presence of this sense I am. In fact, this I amness is consciousness itself. So all that appears to us is in the light of this. Even in the dream, first there has to be this me, the sense I am, for the dream to exist. And all is allowed to play out even in the dream. Like there will be a body, all the forces of pain and pleasure, the entire universes, all will be seen. It's not like you come to a dream state and you can reach the edge of a dream. You don't run out of the dream space or time. It keeps going and it is unlimited. In the same way, this phenomenal world of the seeming waking state, which is actually no different from the dream state, seems to appear with unlimited time and space. Nobody has come to the edge of time or the edge of space. And then what happens? When this sense of beingness is there, then we see that there are all kinds of appearances, seemingly external appearances and seemingly internal appearances. But they're all dancing in front of this awareness itself. So the pure witnessing remains untouched, but all the appearances start appearing. Then what happens? We see that when we look at the seemingly internal appearances, we see that there could be a thought which is just another appearance. There could be an emotion which is just another appearance. But we say it is my thought. We say it is my emotion. And in the same way, there are actions which happen through the body, and we say it is my action. So, like my master says, you are not the thinker of your thought, nor the doer of your actions. See? And when we investigate this purely scientifically, we can investigate this. And if we just check, did I create my thought? Is there an individual entity called a person who created a thought? And is there an individual entity here which decided to do an action or not? You will see that it is completely untrue. No such individual personal identity exists. You will see that it is purely imagined. It is only made up of the beliefs that we carry. So, like we say, the person is only the sum total of all the beliefs which have been carried up to this point. And as we let go of these beliefs, we see that the individual entity called the person is completely non existent. But what does exist is the light of beingness itself. This presence I amness cannot be denied in the waking state. In the waking state, nobody can truly deny their own existence as the presence I am. Nobody can truly say I am not. And we see that it is only in the light of this does the phenomenal world continue to move around. And whenever this sense I am is present, in whatever state it might be, there is some movement. You see? So all this is happening through the light of consciousness itself. And that's why we say that consciousness is the one doer. Because we see that there is a beautiful pattern of movement. Everyone's heart seems to be moving. Breath seems to be happening. Gravity seems to be working. Electricity seems to be flowing. Magnetism seems to work. And each with some predetermined constants and rules. Evolution seems to occur. So, what is the Supreme Intelligence which is keeping track of all of this? Like I jokingly say, was there a committee that sat and decided on what the value of gravity must be? What Supreme Intelligence keeps track of mutations in every next generation? What we call evolution. What is the Supreme Intelligence which is keeping track? You see? And what is the Supreme Intelligence which is keeping track so that from generation to generation, the body which is being received by humans seems to have bigger heads. So it must be this one consciousness itself. This being itself, which is the light of this universe, must be this light. Therefore, we say this one is the one doer. Who is making the neurons fire? Who is making light travel at a constant speed? Who has created the rules of physics, chemistry, biology? So, all scientists have so far come to conclusions about what is going on and at what rate they happen. But nobody is able to tell us why it happens in this particular way. Nobody can tell us why light seems to travel at a particular speed. Nobody can say who decided that this would be the speed of light, isn't it? Therefore, for me, it is completely clear that only in the light of this being, this consciousness, all of this is done by itself. because this consciousness is ever present in the now, and the person is never present except in our imagination. Consciousness is ever present in the now, the person is never present except in our imagination. See? So that was the part about being the one doer. Then we say, why do we say that consciousness is also the one experiencer? Yes. And in this, you must see that there is a difference between the pure witnessing and the experiencing of phenomena. I know this can be a point of confusion for some of you, so today we can clarify this. There's the pure witnessing which is untouched by all phenomena, and yet there is an experiencing of phenomena. See? So if I eat an ice cream, there is an experiencing of taste. And even this experience of taste ultimately is witnessed by the pure awareness. But the experiencing of taste can only happen in the presence of beingness itself. Again, there is no person which is experiencing anything. This person cannot be found. But there is the presence of beingness here. You see? So, experiencing through senses or internal imagery, memories, internal emotions being experienced, all again happens in the presence of being itself, and this experiencing is also witnessed. There is a witnessing of this experiencing as well. So therefore, we say the one doer of all phenomena and the one experiencer of all phenomena must be this being, this consciousness itself. It most definitely cannot be a person because the person is not to be found. Yes. So this is part of the understanding. Then many of us get stuck with this point saying that, okay, I am clear that there is no person here. They say this, you see. They say that I am clear that there is no person here. But why don't other people get this? You see the irony in this? I am clear that there is no person here. But why doesn't my partner get this? Or why don't other people that I come in contact with just don't understand? You see? So we claim to have dropped the personhood here very conveniently for ourselves, but we refuse to drop the sense of personhood for others. If there is no person here, then there cannot be any person anywhere. So all is a doing of consciousness itself. So not only must we see that there is no person here, we also see that no person ever existed actually. It was all just one big movie or video game. Alright, I've been rambling on for some time. Let me catch up on the chat. So I hope this answered Ananya and Arya. Zoe says Mike is here in satsang today. Very good. It was very nice chatting with you briefly the other day. I'm very happy you joined in. Very good. Namaste. Namaste. Shinin says, is the sense of fear something consciousness welcomes? The sense of excitement before the rise of fear seems to welcome the anticipation of an event. If we stay before this, can fear be transcended or non existent from experience? The mind cannot figure out why anything appears. The mind tries to get an understanding of why fear appears or when it will disappear or any emotion. At best, the mind can just see that there are some patterns which seem to exist. So, actually, what happens is that any emotion can come. We'll take fear as an example. So, fear arises. You see, fear is here, it is arising, and we conjure up actually the entity, a separate entity for whom it is arising. So, if it is before we are supposed to speak on stage, then we call it anxiety is happening to the person. But if it is before we are going on an exciting road trip or a holiday, we say this is so much excitement. Energetically, anxiety and expectation, excitement are not very different. If you were to look at them just as energies, you will see that anxiety and expectation, excitement are not very different. But it is the labeling which causes all the problem. So you're right to the extent that when it comes like excitement, then we say, oh, this is so good, such a nice feeling. But when it comes as anxiety or stage fright, then we say, oh, I wish this was not there. So the only trouble is in the interpretation of it. If you were to be completely open and non resistive to all that is appearing, then you will see that none of this has any power over us. And then we do not invent the idea of this separate me, which is the seeming experiencer of these emotions. There is no individual entity which experiences this emotion. We cannot say one thing about this individual entity, yet we are so convinced that it must exist. See? So, in the play of Maya, in the play of this consciousness, all is allowed to appear and to be let go of. It is for its own play. Who is trying to understand it? So, if we stop labeling fear as uncomfortable or a negative emotion, then we see that fear also is nothing at all to us. Just another appearance. See? Ananya says, I see that when the idea of personhood keeps getting vague, there is life flowing beautifully as it is exactly. Life is always flowing so beautifully, but in our clinging to our concepts of what life should be, in our clinging to the concepts of the life of a person, we tend to seem to miss this beauty which is ever present. So much sense of wonder in every moment. And we miss it because we are busy planning the life of the person. We are busy deciding what should happen or what not should happen. We cannot control we cannot control the flow of this life. What tools do we have to control the flow of this life? What control have we had in the past? What plans can we ensure in the future? So ultimately, it is this arrogance, this resistance of the ego which says, without my intervention, God will make a mess of my life. And we end up believing this thought that the creator, preserver, and destroyer of this universe will make a mess of my life or not pay my bills without my individual intervention. And yet, in the same breath, we say that God is everywhere. Then, if God is everywhere, then who is this my whose intervention is required? It's only a huge sham. It is not true. It's very good. Louis says, Father, then it is only to recognize that consciousness is playing this game of personhood. Yes, that is the game. The recognition that it is a game that is being played by myself as consciousness, not the game. The recognition that it is a game that is being played by myself as consciousness. Yes, yes. Many, many games actually. Inside the dream seems like the waking state. So we say that in one night, in one seeming night, we could lead many, many lifetimes of many different dreams, which all seem complete in the waking state once we seem to be quote unquote inside them. So all these games are being played in the light of the same consciousness. Soham says, yes, was stuck in the others are persons doing good and bad for a while, yes. A very subtle trick of the mind, you see. I've seen that there is no person here, so all is happening by the grace of God itself, by the grace of consciousness. But the others don't realize this, hence they must still be doers. That's the joke, isn't it? Shinin says, yes, thank you, very clear. All is welcomed. All energy, God is everywhere. Very good. So beautiful, very good. And once this is seen, that all is welcome, all is just appearing and dissolving in my own light, then all the struggle seems to get diminished on its own. Suffering is only a resistance to what is. And every time now suffering arises, we can see what is still being resisted. It is that simple. So, suffering is only a resistance to what is, and as long as there is no resistance, there is no suffering. But when suffering arises, it shows us what is still being resisted. So, it is actually to be embraced and welcomed because it shows us what still remains. This is very good. Ananya says, so the idea of cause and effect is completely false then, Father. Something leads or is caused because of something. There is only one cause, which is consciousness. Only one cause and one that gets affected, which is consciousness. So we can either say there is no cause and effect, or we can say that cause and effect are there is one cause and one effect are for one, this one being. Because anything else, to say anything else, would imply the presence of an individual personal identity. Bhagavati ji says, thank you, Soham. Very good. Deanan says, so in situations where I hear an I thought and experience a doer, such as I am going to work more hours next week, I am going to clean the house. Yes, I should just drop the next thought. Yes, because these thoughts are not required. They only perpetuate the delusion of doership. They are talking to you as if you are a person who needs the intervention of these thoughts for life to go in a particular way. But when we looked, we saw that we cannot identify who is being spoken to. Also, most beings cannot identify who is speaking. That's why we had this wrong number example, isn't it? We picked up the wrong number, and the wrong number, somebody on the other end started giving us instructions, and we have blindly been following. Which is like thoughts come, and you should do this, you should not do that, this should happen, this should not happen, he is good, he is bad. All this is basically one big wrong number. And in the wrong number, if we ask who is speaking or who is being spoken to, either of these questions will do. Who is speaking or who is being spoken to? If we just were to ask with an open mind, we will see that all of this was one big joke. It was all just one big wrong number, actually. And when we let go of this, then we cannot invent the concept of a doer. You see? So you say the doer still comes so strong. Even I am praying, I am letting things go. Yes. So let go of all these interpretations and then show me where is the doer. It is only an imagined one. You see, when we say strong, we mean that a lot of belief is given to it. So the strength is not coming from the concept. All concepts are just nothing, they're just concepts. The seeming strength comes from our belief in them. You see? So the concept could be that I am a great person. So, this I am a great person could mean something to you if you have invested a lot of belief in it. To another, it could be the belief that I am a terrible person because a lot of belief has been invested in that. Just as a pure thought, it could have come and gone. But with the investment of belief, it seems to become a strong part of our identity. You see? See, any thought can come. A thought could be that I should walk on the Himalayas. And if you put a lot of belief into this thought right now, you will feel that this becomes like a strong desire. It becomes part of the strong part of the imagined persona. And we say the person itself has changed with the acceptance or belief in this thought. So every moment the person is changing depending on what we are believing or not. But what is at the core of this person? There is nothing. It is only a set of ideas. Or as Louis says very nicely, it is just a clump of ideas, which is very malleable actually, constantly changing. Bhagwati ji says, thank you Ananta ji too, very welcome. Already said welcome on Soham's behalf actually. It's the same, yes. I hope it's clearer. Dean, okay, so Deanan asks, yes, embarrassing to ask this question that I feel I know the answer to, and yet somehow I feel I must ask. Yes, you must ask. It's very good. Of course, we reduced 5 marks for you from the Advaita test. So Zoe says, I still keep thinking there is one doer. What do I do now? Yes. Oh, yes. Just let go of this thought. The one doer does not need the intervention of any thought. Kapil says, yes, thanks, Deenan. This is the sticky one here as well. Nothing is so sticky, just let it go. Because in our belief that it is sticky, it will stick around more. All power to all these concepts comes from your own belief. Your belief is the power. Aryev says, but the experience shows that decisions, goals do have an effect, and sciences like Jyotish are very accurate and valid. How do we understand those experiences in the light of what you are saying? Yes. So, one can have the experience that Jyotish is very valid. Another can have the experience that my Jyotish, what he means is astrological chart, or some astrological patterns. You see? So one can have the experience that it is very valid, another can have the experience that is very unvalid. But this much must be clear to you that cannot be a set of planets somewhere which are controlling your life, isn't it? And if it is not a set of planets which are controlling your life, and if you say, so let's go with your presumption that they are very accurate. So if you say that these planets are giving you some insight into where life will be, you see, then you're already saying that consciousness itself will do all of this, and that is why this pattern is discernible, isn't it? If there was an individual doer, then how would your astrological chart work? Because then you are deciding moment to moment based on what thoughts are coming, and you have the choice which thought to pick up or not. You see, I'm referring to you as a person now because of the presumption of individual doership. So if Jyotish works, astrology works, then that completely refutes the concept of individual doership, isn't it? And then people will say, oh, but partly it is destiny and partly it is free will, which is completely baloney actually. Completely baloney because a small movement changes the whole universe. That is why they say that a butterfly flapping somewhere can bring a storm in the Amazon. You see, everything is so interconnected that whatever happens seems to change every bit of the universe. Then to say that I have some free will as an individual person means that you can change the entire universe with your next action. See? So if there is some real way to access this pattern of how consciousness will play out, then that is said to be true forecasting or whatever it is called. Actually, here there is no interest in any of this now because there's so much wonder in every moment. There is no concern about the future. If this is the last moment in my life, there is no concern about it. And if this beingness has to go on for another million years, there is no concern about it. But what is completely clear is that there is no individual person here. Hope you're able to shed some more light on that. Deenan says, thank you, Anantaji. Yes. You've deducted 5 marks. Louise says, not sure if this question came through. Will say again. Father, trying keeps. No, this question did not come through, or maybe I missed it. Yes, if any of you find that something got missed, please feel free to type it again. She says, Father, trying keeps happening. There was a feeling it should be dropped and frustration that it wouldn't stop. Now it is seen that all of this is just an appearance too. The trying included, yes. Who is the doer of the trying? It is the same game, it is the same player. It's all good. Soham said, what did Soham say? Soham said, there is unbelievable joy in this, Father. Very good. No problems or worries in this light. Very good. Arif says, I think there are two types of thoughts. Ones that occur to us and those that we can deliberately generate. For example, I can decide right now that I will get up and drink a glass of water and I will be able to do that. Yes. This is part of the scam actually. You see? How did you decide that the thought will be to drink a glass of water? Why not to pick up a pen lying on the table? Who is it that made this distinction? You see, which person was this? This is very good that you're here. If you really open and look now, it'll get clarified for you. It is very good. Who is it that made the distinction? You said, I decided what the thought will be, and I decided that it will be to pick up a glass of water. So, how did you decide between all the options of thoughts which were there? How did you create this particular thought? How did you say glass of water and not pen on the table? Who is the one who decided this? Can you show me this one? This one is the key to all your questions. Just find this one who decided. Was it this body? Hmm? Was it this body in some way decided? Which part did you play? This is very good. I like this very much. Shinin says, when effort is seen, there is laziness in picking it up again. Like too much effort to make an effort, and too much energy needed to pick up effort. Fear is there of job, income, as everything has been dropped, even the effort in being. Yes, being requires no effort. First, we see that being requires no effort. And that is why I never give a practice which seems effortful. It is impossible to not be. Can anyone stop being now? You say, I'm tired of the effort, so stop all effort, just be dead like this. Nothing. Don't pick up anything at all. No effort at all whatsoever. Did you stop being? What effort could be required to be? It is extremely tiring when there is a person trying to be something. You see, that is the person playing God, and no person can do it actually. You are already the Supreme One. What effort would it need to make you that? You see, so if a phone is here, what effort is required to make this phone a phone? Effort would only mean that I want to change this in some way. Effort is only needed to change this in some way. You see? But you are already the self. The word itself conveys itself. You are the self already. Now, when you drop all effort, you are just then pure being is here and pure witnessing is here. And for a while, it will seem like these thoughts will come. I should do this, I should make money, I should not do this, I'm not bothered about money. Either desire or aversion, both these thoughts can be let go of. See, it's neither doing nor not doing. You see, both are doing actually. When we decide to not do, that is also pretending to be a person that can decide. When we decide to do, is also pretending to be a person that can decide. That's why I say beautiful neutrality. Let everything flow. And next moment you could find a lot of actions happening through your body, or next moment you could find that there is no life energy here and the body just is falling. You see. And then the mind will say, I decided to be lazy or I decided to be active. That is rubbish. See? Ustreamer116 says, yes, Ananta, there is no interest in knowing the future, predicting. Yes. So much joy in fully being fully here now in the present grace filled moment which is steering this life here and all everywhere eternally. Very good. This one sounds like a Radhana. Hmm. Then Aryev says, I agree the person can't be found, but there seems to be some free will. Good point on the thought which was picked. Thank you, thank you. Good point on the thought which was picked. Only some options are available right now, and I picked one of the available ones randomly. Listen, listen, we are close, okay? So you said some options are available now. Did you create these options? So we said pick up, get a glass of water or pick up a pen. No? Then the next thought will come from here, which is to go read a book. A thought could come, oh, I have not read Nisargadatta Maharaj in a long time. Let me read that. Even the options were created by consciousness itself. This is what you must see. How did you create these options? If you see through this game, you will see what we are talking about, and then you will see that life is unfolding spontaneously on its own, and the person idea is just a joke. So Naomi, okay, so somebody said that it should be Naomi, Naomi or Naomi, so you can correct the pronunciation, whichever way it is best. So Naomi says, Anantaji, what can be said of roles in our lives? Years spent in college to learn a profession all seem so unimportant now. The role of therapist, full of categorizing others, makes no sense now. You see, the beauty of the self is that all roles will get played spontaneously. Even all of these roles of college, and of therapist who was doing them. It was always only consciousness. So it is so beautiful when we let go of all these roles, yet life might put us in a position where we find ourselves in the therapist chair and we find a patient in front of us. And spontaneously, in that moment, you will find that the most auspicious words will appear. And the most auspicious does not mean that it will go good or bad depending on what the mind is saying. The most auspicious only means that exactly what is meant to happen will appear, as it always has been. So, no desire or no aversion, no playing of a role, no non playing of the role. This is the beautiful neutrality of self. We just show up for the movie without any expectations. Just show up for the movie with no expectations and see how the movie is playing out. And you'll see how your own body mind organism is just an element in the same movie. Don't pick up any thoughts, even thoughts about something making sense or no sense. Don't try to come to any conclusions about anything. You just rest in your beautiful neutrality, not knowing what anything is for. Otherwise, there will still be a person who is trying to grasp for some understanding, trying to figure something out. Now we are giving no room for this mind, for this ego, for this personhood to stay. Just be in the right now. In the right now, there is only presence. All problems, all suffering, all figuring out needs to happen about the past or future. Jayani says, Father, some things arise to say, but they are just mind. Just feel to be here with you. So much love. So happy you're here. Very good. Sorry. Naomi says, Thank you so much. Clear and lovely. Very good. Streamer 138 says, Yes, just being here in your presence is enough. Thank you so much. Ananya says, Water, Father. Yes, just 5 more minutes. Adam says, No words here. Thank you. Thank you too, my dear. Soham says, Father, just to look at. Okay, you streamer says, 138 says, no lemon drops which you like to keep handy, Ananta. No, not at the moment. That's okay, just a few minutes left. Soham says, Father, just to look at you is wonderful. Last night, as I sat quietly, I just saw your smiley face, and it made me smile so much. Yes, it's very good. Bhagwati ji says, Peace here, being with you. Very good, same, same. Cornelia, thank you so much. Much love. Thank you, Shining. Very good. Thank you, Bhagwati ji. Thank you, Dinan. Very good. All right. Thank you all so very much for being in satsang today. Muji ji ki jai. Very good, Arya. Yes, just check on this. It's very good. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Rolf says, thank you for fine satsang, Anantaji. Thank you so much. Feedback, good audio. Though some few lagging on video stream, is it? I see. Not critical. Happy here now and weekend. Same, same to you. Thank you so much. Thank you for the feedback. Very good. Very good. Thank you, Jyotika. How about the rest of you? Did you also find the video lagging? Maybe we need to look in the settings if that is true. So I reduced the video quality a little bit. Thank you, Lucian. Dinan says video is fine here. Jyotika says no, not here. Okay. Okay, so mostly no lag, but some say some little bit of lag. Okay. Thank you, thank you, thank you.